out here at my friend Bill's place. He said, hey, come by. Guess what? I got another truck. You know Bill, he's a truck guy. He just can't quit the habit. Here he goes again. Bill and I have done a ton of projects together. I could see a cycle, like he's improving with every one. Each project comes from a better starting point. He usually manages to get his hands on some interesting stuff, and this truck's no different. Wow. It's even got that old truck smell. That's a unique rust pattern. Usually it's down in here. Usually you see all this gone. It says 61,000 miles on it. I might just believe that. Look at that, never hit, never painted, never known nothing. In a quest to live my life by the true metaphors of the universe, I will not judge a book by its cover, but I will give it a thorough once-over and then cast my judgment. This is like, yeah, barn find potential. Yeah, and in the rear, it's more of the same, just good, wholesome truck. In this day and age, to walk up on a vehicle that is in the unmolested, unchanged status, it's pretty unique. Hello, sir.
Mr. Russell, my favorite fabricator.
Wait, you mean there's others?
No, I just have you. That's all I need.
Okay, cool. This is quite a charmer, huh?
Well,
talk about a barn find.
One family owned
Huh.
since '62.
Wow.
A friend of mine found it, and I went to look at it and just had to have it.
Yeah, I could see why. I mean, it's in great shape.
They started messing with the top and didn't prime it, didn't do anything, and of course,
So they actually did cut that open.
I guess.
Okay, because I was like, this doesn't add up. It doesn't look like your typical rust. Seeing the rust damage on this, it's really impossible to know what's going on under the surface. The openings in this one are curious to me. Anybody that knows rust knows that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Everything seems to work. 3-speed with an overdrive.
Nice.
Most people looked at the roof and said, boy, that's bad. I looked at the roof and said, where's Ian?
You know a guy with a welder, don't you?
Yeah.
Remember that old commercial, Mikey Likes It? Well, this is sort of like that, but it's Ian can fix it. It's never a dull day. There is something to be said, like the time machine scenario, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a real deal 62 Ford.
Yeah. I don't know, it just stole my heart when I saw it. I liked everything about it, and so here we are.
Yeah, in stock form, these trucks are great. I had a 64. It was a Mercury. It was from Canada.
Oh,
It was the unibody style, but I mean, just had the V8, had all the stock stuff, and it just drove great. I'm feeling the Survivor vibes on this thing, definitely. I mean, there's something to be said for like retaining the actual, showroom feel, just rolling down the road in a bit of a time capsule. Plus, I know Bill, and sometimes, in fact, most times, it's better to ease him into custom action.
interesting, they call this a custom cab.
It's a full custom kit.
Now, I don't know what that means.
When we're done with it, it's going to be a custom cab.
Yeah, it needs a little Russell. I like the drip rail. If you could keep that, I'd really.
Yeah, I mean, I got some ideas already about that roof skin, but the primary factor is to get in there and stop that rust on the interior panels, because that's starting to get pretty chunky.
I'm always excited when you come to work on my projects. I never know exactly where you're going.
That makes two of us. One of my favorite things about visiting with Bill is he's always got a rotating stock, and it would not be a trip to Bill's without a quick tour around the neighborhood. What's going on with that?
Well, the panel trucks, 46 Chevrolets, both of them,
Wow.
real projects.
Huh.
I mean,
Need everything.
everything.
Okay.
There's a lot of potential there.
No doubt.
That's
it just,
for
as
sure.
you say, it's literally strapped together.
Yeah.
Now, what the heck is this thing? Now you're talking my language.
One of the guys that works here part-time, Danny, is building that.
Even got a motor on it. I mean, nothing says outlaw like a motorcycle with no license plates. Let's run it. I got one word, man. Chingon. Yeah, I mean, these are definite long-term potential, but let's stick to the order at hand.
I agree.
I'll get some ideas together on that unit down there, and we'll just keep thinking about these.
I like it.
Yeah. There's a few different ways about going forward on this particular project. Looking back through my mental Rolodex, I remember a friend of mine has something that just might work.
It's a 62 F100 four-wheel drive. It originally belonged to a good friend of mine that I was a sailor with. And we used to drive this thing out in the desert, boondocking, yank the engine out, and I've pretty much been sitting on it ever since.
Every truck's got a story, man. I love you're not that attached to it. We could do a little horse trading, and
It's gonna have a new lease on life.
at least parts of it will. The one thing about dumpster diving is it's not as easy as picking something off the shelf. It looks like this rig is missing a critical element. It's got no rear axle. Well, I got my trailer.
Maybe we could lift it up and just drive the trailer, you know, right under it.
It's always a new page opening, a new story unfolding. Things get kind of crazy in the Wild West. You're gonna have to pull them tires. Got this thing loaded up, heading back down the hill to Mr. Bill's. All right, twin trucks. Love these mirrors. The roof skin is pristine. That's the big deal on this. I didn't realize this is a long bed. That's a short bed. Look at that, I could almost grab this one. Good thing we don't need the bed. Comparing these two side by side, it looks like this one has all the parts for the old cut and paste trick. There it is. I know what you're thinking. Wow, Ian, you didn't break the glass. Well, I can be delicate too, you know. So on this one, I'm just gonna take the entire roof cap right off and then start to hog out from the inside, the exact reverse of what I did on the other truck. I think I just found an excuse to make that Roadster pickup truck I've always wanted. That back window doesn't look like it's the same flow. Old habits die hard. What can I say? One farm fresh roof skin. Let's get that truck out of here. Let's take out this ancient artifact. Yeah, look at that. Rust free. That is the desert, ladies and gentlemen. I want to leave the drip rail, but remove the structure. So I think I'm gonna take the disc and put it in this way now. Now that the skin's on the table, I can trim away everything I need using my patented surgical precision. So now you have all the structure of the truck intact with this front windshield surround preserved on the other vehicle. As long as those folks at Ford used the same tools to make these two roofs, we're gonna find out. I did all the prepping I could in 2 stations. It's time to put it together and see if it fits. Well, hot dog, if that don't fit like a Ford roof skin should. The two-tone is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that, but it brings out the bumper. The white and white. Looks like a creamsicle. There's just so much to be said for the factory stamped sheet metal. It fits identical, it fits perfect. And the patina, the color of the paint, actually works great as well. See how this roof has a little clip on it? And then there's still one remaining on the truck. So that's your front alignment right there. Both of these vehicles were prepped out more conservative than the final fit up. So now that the pieces are kind of stacked, just the last bit of trim and nip to make it happen. The process at this point is welding it together and just trying not to burn too much paint off. It's gonna get hot on top for sure, but you know, you're only gonna see the seams around the backside. The front welding is buried in the rain gutter with the sealer that'll go in there. I'm feeling good about this swap. You know, I still got a few tricks up my sleeve to make Old Orange come full circle. Got the roof skin buttoned up right on time. Here comes Mr. Bill on his trusty green steed.
Master Russell, how is my orangey red truck?
It's a little more like your white hat at the moment. Check out the new cap on this sucker.
Oh my gosh, you put a whole new roof on it.
Correct. And look at the drip rails. I changed those too.
Perfect. Yeah.
I didn't think you wanted to repaint the whole truck, right?
No.
Just give it a
No,
detail, yeah. Do a little touch up around where I welded, and it looks like it was always that way.
That is terrific. White top, I never even thought of that. You made a real truck out of this. That is just great.
It's good to see Bill excited on the progress. This kind of change is right in line with what he likes. You know, I did major surgery, but it looks like not much went on.
When I saw the donor truck parked in my driveway, I thought, wonder what Ian's got in mind.
Plot's thickening. Right? So the good news about that truck is it's got a lot of pieces. I noticed your parking brake was broken. It's got all the interior mechanisms for the doors. It's got a brand new windshield in it. So you got a few good things out of that.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll pick it apart like a chicken.
One thing that was bugging me is the fact that there's no rear bumper, you know? It's like, well, it's got a front, but there's no rear. You know, if it had a trailer hitch or something, it would add up, but it's just blank sheet metal. But I was thinking something a little more classy, a little more style to it, you know? I'm rooting through my own part stash, and I think I might just have one thing to solve this dilemma. It's a pretty generic looking shape, but it's got that interesting rise.
It still has the same arch as that. It's just enough to be a bumper.
I'm not sure what this came off of. I almost feel like it was on a car sitting like that.
Yep. So what are you gonna, just bolt it on and then look at it from this side?
You think I got a plan? Come on.
Have at it.
I really do like the back of the sheet metal on this truck. You put the bumper in at the height of the lower portion of the quarter panel and it just flows right out. With a utility vehicle like a truck, a pickup truck, the bumpers are literally just that. They're for bumping into things. You can see how high-tech this is. I mean, no expense spared in the rigging and jigging in this operation. So we got these brackets in here, and I don't want to mess with that because that's our welding on potential. We're going to narrow it in this vacant area through here. Mini bumper. Got this really high-tech straight edge out of Bill's toolbox. Fortunately, this bumper is the same dimension all the way through, but it's important to get it straight when you're aligning it for welding. Such a clean-looking design to bunch it up with welds or any other modifications would take away from it, so it's got to be a seamless mod. This is pretty cool. These bumpers mounted flat up on the panel, and they're going to do the same on this truck. Can't argue with that. Oh. Now it's like, oh yeah, look at the truck body, and then the bumper, just a little accessory. Simple, hang that license plate just down a little bit. I think that's the most that this bumper has to offer, is that it kind of smooths the line between those cheeky quarter panels under the taillights and just a bland, flat cross panel on each side of the license plate. It shows you the old nip and tuck. Sometimes it's the answer. Paint that white, call her done. This thing is definitely making progress. It just leads to think, what's next? Anybody home? Speaking of trucks, out of the blue, I get a call from my friend Tom. This project and I have a little bit of unfinished business.
Hey,
how's
Ian.
it going?
How you doing?
I know you said you made some progress, but wow.
It's a driver. It runs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
It runs really good too.
This thing looks great. It's a 1942. It was a military truck, a long bed, just a big utility vehicle, and he got a little wild with it. He shortened the entire chassis, bobbed off the bed. I did a chop top, little hot rod 6-cylinder engine. He's like, no, it's not a hot rod. It's not a street truck. It's a toy. Think of it as a giant toy truck. All I could say was, yeah, you're preaching to the choir, sir. I gotta say, I do love the big puffy tires, but these are cool too. Like you're saying, it's like the model kit where it's dual purpose, right? I'd like to see this thing run. Are you gonna pull it in?
Sure.
Heck yeah. It's got the twice pipes. It is exactly like the toy that he was describing. I mean, he was talking about these magazines and showing me different model kits, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like that's exactly what it would look like in the 60s, no doubt. Hold on, never mind this truck. Look at this thing. This is the real deal.
That was given to me.
What?
It's a hot rod from the 30s.
Oh, wow.
During the war, they made a truck out of it for
Like
rations.
so many other ones, right?
Yeah, for war rations, yeah.
In World War II, there were gasoline rations, and as I understood, you could get more if you drove a truck. The car's been lowered a bit. It's been chopped pretty significantly, and just a really nice touch with the windshield and convertible top. And it's got that weird back end. I mean, it is technically a truck.
I think it's been chopped at least 4 inches.
At least, look
Yeah,
how low that
yeah.
is. I mean, this gas tank is obviously not original. That's
Yeah, first thing I always do if I get a car is I get it running and driving.
Yeah. Crazy when an antique like this just runs.
It's cool. This thing here, we're okay with. That's the one we need to work on.
Yeah, I agree. I brought some tubes. Let me show you the bends I got. This, right? That's just about where you want to be. It really fills out the back of the truck. Right, so this would come in and turn down below the license plate, and then the bottom part would reverse like that.
Yeah, just put a little spacer in there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great idea, Ian, right there.
After laying out a few ideas, it seems like we got a good jumping off point with these large bends. That would look pretty cool, no?
No, I like it. No, I like it, yeah.
You heard the boss. Commence the building, Captain. That's the first part of it. It's gonna need 2 vertical bars where the chassis grabs this bumper, so if we do that, that'll keep it locked. Not only will the vertical bars support the bumper hoop, they will act as the mount to the chassis. And to my eye, the spacing looks like it can be improved on. So our chassis is as wide as this, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if we have our uprights this close to the end, it's gonna look funny, but the closer we can bring them into center, it'll look more proportional with our little detail in here, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we could favor it out to here. How do you feel about that?
I'll be honest with you, I have no
Are you
idea.
all right?
You're losing me, Ian. Usually you don't lose me, but you lost me.
This happens every time, man. See, my mind thinks in obtuse dimensions. My workflow style is purely alone. So I get a good idea in the heat of the moment, I execute it. I guess the flip side of that is not really being able to describe myself that well. No, dude, we're just gonna do this, that, and the other thing. It's gonna be fine, trust me.
This bumper's coming out cool. I'm liking it.
It's more art than it is function, right?
That's what I said, you're an artist, man. Oh yeah, look at that. That
It's
is
not
cool.
such a big high boy now.
Yeah.
It drops it down a little bit.
I like it. I like that, yeah.
Good answer. The other answer might not.
I almost don't want to open it up now. What the heck? Let's hang the plate in there and see what happens.
It might be pretty slick if the plate just floated, like it didn't even attach to the bumper, you know? It was off the chassis just sitting there with a cool frame around it.
Man, now you're confusing me, Ian. What the heck?
Joe Schmo's Raceway, see you on Saturday. And that's kind of why I wanted to start this, because it's like, man, that has such a uniform, you know, feel to it. Would this have like a lot of busy metalwork on it because it's such a simple truck? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is all part of the creative debacle. I mean, once you change one thing, you sometimes got to change everything. Just like with the back, we made some progress, but in the front, like anything's possible, man. Style-wise, think about it. I mean, we could do another mini tube bumper like that for the front. Could be V'd out, could be a single tube. We could do 15 tubes. Anything can happen.
My mind's all over the place now because of that. It is.
Honest Ian's Bumper Building Service, here to consult and confuse on the daily. I gave Tom a bit of time just to give the old stare down and see how he's feeling about this bumper. If you want to keep this as we built it, then it's as simple as just attaching it to some mounts.
I like it just like it is.
I still think it looks like some kind of workout equipment or something.
It looks just like something Ed Roth would have built back in the 60s.
Straightforward enough. We could just make some nice brackets, you know, make it look discreet, like we were talking about maybe that floating license plate in the center.
I'm gonna wait until you've got that completely mounted before I even start thinking about the license plate. If it's centered down there, it may not be centered from here.
Now you're talking my language, like the great sculptors, days gone by. When the figure is on top of the building, the head is actually out of proportion. It's bigger.
Oh yeah,
because you're looking at it like that.
Yeah,
It's all so delicate. I mean, angles, distance, size. How could one possibly take it all in?
Well, actually, I'm just gonna have my wife come out and tell me, that looks good. Bring it and do it.
Sometimes that works too.
Yeah.
So in the end, that's what it adds up to. 2 simple, discrete brackets, welded inside and out.
No, I love that thing. It looks like something out of one of my old 60 hot rod magazines.
Agreed.
The surprise for me was the way you mounted it. I did not see that coming, and I like that. Way cleaner. You don't have all this busyness down here now.
Yeah. He likes it. By golly, he likes it.
Look at that bumper. You like the way the taillights are positioned?
Yeah, I mean, I love the traditional lights, but you know, what if there was like a round thing? That to me says like 60s.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea.
Do you have an old trailer light or anything laying around?
Oh, heck yeah. Do I got an old taillight hanging around? Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, that's like the time period too, man.
Yeah.
Right in there, just about centered.
Well, I may get custom on you, huh?
That's what I'm saying. If it was my truck, I'd have these taillights. In the meantime, I'm gonna get into this front bumper design and Tom's gonna hang the license plate. Well, since I have free reign, I could get obnoxious with it. It's a little trick, that way it's just a hidden nut. Yeah, so it's just welded to a washer, set it in the tube like such. If all my calibrations are correct, this thing might just bolt on. Yeah, man, how about that?
I like it. Looks good.
Nice and clean, right?
Yeah, that's usually the best way.
Yeah, see, once you got that grill on, right? Boom, then you got that whole V shape really represented. Nothing like seeing a project in motion, especially at a distance, you know, you really get to take it all in. Heck yeah.
Oh, look at that bumper from here, man. It's cool.
It's really fun, you know, building a car, but it's driving them is when you really feel the flavor come out. And this one's got a ton of personality. This thing corners like a forklift. Look at the turns it does. Super fun.
I'm thinking of doing those taillights like you said.
Yeah, man, one piece at a time. You're closer than you were yesterday.
Oh yeah, I'm getting there.
Another satisfied customer. Now it's back to Mr. Bill's to see what's going on with Old Orange. Back out here at Bill's Ranch, and he says the truck is ready to rock.
Well, there's your pickup. Had my guys do a little work on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look great?
I love how they treated the paint.
Yeah, my full guy does a good job.
Yeah, no kidding. Look at that roof. It's like it was never even changed.
Yep, the roof is perfect.
Cool job. It was really interesting to me how they kind of faux finished the front and rear bumpers to match the roof cap. Pretty slick stuff. Because when you open the door, it's like the dashboard and the top, they make a statement together.
Yep.
That's really what I was hoping for. There's something about the white paint, when I put that new skin on, it's just like, wow, it kind of brightens the whole truck up. It's interesting. By leaving that factory seam between the window and the roof cap and putting the weld in that nondescript area, slapping new drip rails on both sides, it worked out pretty clean.
Oh, it's great. Drip rails were non-existent.
Yeah.
You know, it makes these projects so much better if you have a parts or a donor. I mean, look at everything you got off that donor truck.
The big bonus here was the donor truck. Not only did it have the roof sheet metal and a couple other accessories, it had this pristine windshield in it as well. One other thing about the donor truck was it had these cool side view mirrors, and they just scream, you know, California custom truck scene from back in the day. Standing in the back of the truck looking forward, I would see these bumpers hanging out past the fenders, and I thought, well, we're really inside on the rear. We got to tuck that front in as well. This stamped line takes a hard turn right here, right? That looks cool, but then this thing is just kind of flying way out. What if we could get that bumper to match that as closely as possible? This is going to turn. Something like that. I think one of the goals with customizing is to make the vehicle more seamless, make it look like a lot less has been added on. This bumper does have a more molded to the body shape now than being accessorized. The key mandate with this from the start has been like old school, survivor, kind of stock, but different.
I love the back bumper instead of the big clunker commercial diamond plate thing that was on there.
The chrome was the only thing bothering me about this back bumper, so I love what they did. It just looks like it was always there. I don't even know where that came from. I can't wait for the person that tells you.
Yeah.
I love the wheels and tires too. It looks like it should be that way.
Yeah. It's just some subtle things you did, and it's a survivor. It's great. I love everything about it. I wouldn't change a thing. Sometimes it's better just to leave it alone. Hard for you to do.
I didn't say that, but it worked this time.
I want you to take it for a ride. It runs good.
I want to know what 1962 feels like.
There you go. Purrs like a kitten.
Sure does. This thing sounds good. The cool thing about this truck is it's got a V8 in it from the factory. This truck's got a lot of torque. Man, manual steering, manual brakes, roll-up windows. That's what's happening. It's interesting, you step into this thing and it's like a time machine. All of a sudden, Bill's telling me war stories from back in the day. He's having flashbacks. I tell you, 1962 was a mighty fine year.
Yes, sir.
I've driven a lot of different vehicles, but there's something about the pickup trucks in the 60s, they really hit a different stride. They went from this almost tractor style driving, like very archaic, to this thing, even with a solid axle, it's got smoothness and it's got power. I'm not sure what it is specifically about trucks, but it's kind of like the family dog, right? Where it's just like, it's always there, it's always reliable. It's just a unique thing. I gotta say, it's authentic, man.
Yeah, I think it's a keeper, Ian.
Bill is one happy customer, I gotta say. You could tell in the tone of his voice when he's satisfied and he's like, yeah, this is just what I needed. I got my friend Alan out here for a drive, and I got some fresh meat in the queue. An oldie but a goodie for sure. This is our next project.
Oh man, got me sweating over here.
The old 1931 jalopy trick. It's complete. Great driving car.
It sure beats riding a horse.
I can't imagine what it was like.
He got on the little road and the little path there and he's gunning it. This little 4-cylinder is pushing all it's got.
One of my old friends has wanted to build a hot rod for a long time. He found this Model A and dropped it off at the shop. He's really particular about the style and era he's looking for, but I think there's still a lot of room for envisioning.
Does he know what you do on this show?
Talk about the nostalgia ride.
I'm telling you. Dude, this thing is rad. Like it screams rad.
I mean, when you look at this iconic Model A, right now, in 2023, it looks like Grandpa's parade car, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
nice antique. We were discussing, like, post-war hot rod, like, take it all the way back. Take it back to when it was, or could have been first modified. What a kid would have done when he inherited the family truckster back in the day. They would chop the top, they would channel them, then came the Z frames,
Right.
It goes on and on. But I was thinking, to keep this car, you know, still in that vein of like piece of history and not like a full race car.
Right.
Just strip it down and hop it up, baby.
I like hot rods.
Yeah, me too. As far as this car goes, it looks like somebody should be driving Miss Daisy to the market in it. Fortunately for me, I'm not much of a parade goer, so I think this car can come apart. And obviously start by taking all the accessories and fenders off.
Oh, yeah.
Take the bumpers off, take the lights off, maybe leave the door handles. That's the name of the game, right? Keep it light and lean.
This is a homemade spacer made out of wood, so.
I heard that all the wood in these cars were the actual shipping crates in the factory. Mr. Ford said, it's good wood, make the floors out of that, all the shipping boxes.
Oh, wow.
I knew I was in the right business. Even the pioneers were into recycling and repurposing. The body is definitely taken off on this car because it's got nice undercoat under here. I can see a couple of the pieces of the floor have been replaced because it's riveted in. It's definitely an aftermarket stamp, but no cancer. I feel like Busted Knuckle Garage is on the way.
Oh, yeah. I am.
You heard of mouse traps, that's an Allen trap.
That sure is. This thing is heavy.
The inside of this car is so nice. Let's pull all the interior out, get rid of anything that might burn or get sparks. Yeah, oops. Because of the fact we're chopping the car, it's gonna need all new glass. It's just the price of being cool. Caveman labor, caveman results.
Dude, check out the wood framing in here. It's like brand new.
This exposed roof is exactly what we're looking for. Just like the rest of the car, it's a stripped down race car, bottom line. The aesthetic is the function. A little bit better. This one was a little more successful. Awesome. All right, man, after this, no modern tools, right? That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Yeah, looks like you're there.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, man, let's get this thing out in the breeze. Take a look.
All right.
Just stripping down the car is what gets us in the ballpark. But what we do from here will really sell the concept. This is totally interesting because it's the exact opposite of what we do.
Right.
Typically, we mock stuff up, we pile things, come up with ideas, and all we did here was reduce, reduce.
Oh, I know. Two totally different worlds.
All right, man, it's time to lower the altitude of this thing.
How low can you go?
After a lot of looking and some thinking, Alan and I agree, a 4-inch chop will take us in the right direction.
So what are you thinking about the back? Are we just gonna go straight through it?
Deciding on how much to chop is only half the enchilada. The real spice is how do you cut it out? Let's drop the window 1.5 inches. What do you think about that? Because look how much up it is. So from this black, from the black edge to this little trim detail is 1 5/8.
Okay, I see.
What if we matched it?
Ooh, pre-thinking.
So we could drop the window 1 1/4 and end up with the same proportion of the black line.
That would look nice.
But again, looking back at this, just looking, look, the back window's up for sure.
It does look higher.
So let's drop that window 1 1/4, and then we'll chop it the rest through the center. 2 3/4, we'll chop the glass.
So this went from a simple additional problem to a geometry problem real quick.
That's the way I see things, man.
Here we go. The simple way of doing it would have just been cut it straight through the window. Your window would have shrank, and that's what normally people do. He wants to pull the back window down a little bit to be level with the other windows, and to me, it's just genius. Man, I think this is the most well thought out build we've ever done.
Well, let's not get carried away, man. You know who you're working with, right? See, it does cut pretty efficiently. Oh, it's gonna take some effort, man.
It sounds so painful.
Ow, ow, ow. All right, I'll let you make some progress.
Sweet. I think Ian bought used hacksaws because that thing was so hard to saw through.
Hey, Alan, that was a great idea to do this traditional style, huh?
I'm feeling it now. But that's why when you meet them, oh man, they got these huge forearms, you know.
Freaking Popeye arms.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's no way.
It's nothing like taking a little time to sit back and think about our forefathers. Yep. All the progress they made, from simple hand tools to what our society's evolved into today. Oh, who let the cameras in here? Hey, the traditional thing was Alan's idea.
There we go.
Nothing speaks the truth like a real-life mock-up. It's time to set this sucker on and see what we come up with.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh, that's a chop Model A right there.
That's the look right there.
Definitely not the way Henry Ford would have did it, but that's the way I would do it. That's proper.
The driver's door looks really good. The back window is perfectly shaped. See, the neat part, when you see this,
Yeah.
it matches
flows
all the way
right
around.
through.
Right.
This little trick with the back window really pays off when it's set back in place. For whatever reason, the Model A had sort of a raised up back window in the panel, and by doing the chop the way we did, they all kind of stay around the bottom of the belt line.
This looks so natural,
Yeah, it looks correct.
like it belongs.
Yeah, we still got a couple more things to do before we're race ready. I'm really happy with the overall layout of this, dude. Little rake in the front suspension maybe, but it's aggressive looking. I know you want to gas weld this. I know you're dying to, but think about it. You got this nice interior, the smoke's gonna be going up into the chicken wire, and the spark gets in there. It's just a freaking cookout, man.
My elbows are sore from the hacksaw.
Yeah.
I thought I could just rough it out. I thought about the grandfathers that were doing it back in the day. No.
I gotta tell you, holding that hacksaw for 5 minutes really makes me appreciate the modern conveniences. For just setting this off, I'm gonna put these little backer strips. So you got these little gaps here. If you were TIG welding or gas welding, you'd be able to just work through that. But since we're using the MIG, I'm just gonna back it. It's gonna be really strong. This technique is a little bit different than the fly by the seat of our pants technique. It feels so elegant and refined. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. It might be the oldest trick in the book. It's the oxyacetylene torch. You can heat with this, you can cut with it, you can weld with it. It's got all different attachments, all different torches. Pretty much you could build a car with this. Back in the day, that's kind of what they would do. They would have a hammer and a chisel, a couple wrenches, and one of these. Ye old fire axe. And it's gonna fuse it right into the sheet metal. In these corners, there's a little bit of adjustment to be made. So he's gonna end up gas welding right through, but as he works it, he's gonna hammer and dolly that right into shape. Like a boss. I'm gonna be on fire patrol. Yes, sir.
Pre-war, there was no rod, just a torch by itself. And then after the war, they ended up adding the rod because it made your weld stronger. For us to use that same method is just so, humbling. It's probably the hardest thing with this is like you heat it up, you have to keep control of the metal because it's constantly moving as you heat it.
So what happens is that he heats it, it expands. As it's constricting, he forces it into shape, and he's ultimately, you see how big a gap it is on this side? He's working that out to a flush panel. You see, with the MIG weld, your heat-affected zone is that big, right?
Right.
The torch
And
is all over the place.
place.
Next up is the back window frame, new and improved. Window glass is 2 3/4 smaller, and the windows dropped 1 1/4.
See, that's very tasteful. It's done very tastefully.
That's the story of my life, Alan. Very tasteful. I've never built a bad tasting car. Whew. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the back window. We're just gonna take all this welding very slow, where we get no shrink, no muss, no fuss. Alan and I finished up all the welding. We got our sanding on, and the body's looking pretty good. Thinking about the next step, like as much as I really like low cars, I'm just not really feeling a channel for this build. Yeah, I mean, if you channel it too, then the axle's coming up, you're gonna start cutting the body here, you're cutting the floor out. I love this seat, so, the suspension, everything comes up into the car.
No, I get it. The rumble seat, super rad. Most people have to sacrifice it once they start cutting them up. So it's cool that we'll be able to keep it.
Yeah, we just won't be wearing our tall hat when we drive it, but everything else is Model A.
Screams maturity.
What? Don't ever use that word again. I got a few more tricks up my conservative sleeve. Looking at these side pans, I got a few ideas that'll really meld them in nice with the rest of the car. Right now, they're just sheet metal edge. They're razor sharp. Maybe you want to take this round rod and just edge this. Just tack it all on there. That way it's a nice finished edge, and we could put a little filler on it, have a nice rollout off of the sheet metal surface.
Oh, yeah. Now that brings the sexy into it. I think we should trim it to meet up with the rear wheel well.
Oh, that's a good idea, for sure. Right, that line comes straight down instead of just to the back of that. If you want to set that up, I'm going to trim this windshield. The first step is to just take these hole measurements, bring them down 4 inches on everything. One of the challenges when you do have parameters on the creativity, it's just like, okay, well, instead of thinking outside the box, you gotta do like as much as you can inside the box, which is a challenge in itself. Mini window. That's the thing, we didn't chop it like the top, I just took the, yeah, where that screws together.
Dude, that's badass.
Just how Mr. Ford intended it. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. That looks great.
Like how it follows the rear wheel opening,
Yes.
comes down.
It adds to it 100%. Thinking with these headlights, we're gonna do this classic hot rod thing also, because we don't have any fenders for this to bolt onto.
Right.
If we bolt it to the car, like right there, and then I take the rod, so you're heating right here, I take the rod and bend it, and then boom, the headlight is facing where it's supposed to.
In theory, you know, it sounds like it would work.
I was hoping this idea would be met with a little more optimism. Alan wants the old tools. I mean, what's more caveman than bending stuff by hand? I tell you, sometimes it's a tough room in here. How's that look to you? Custom.
That's awesome. That's a first for me right there.
Put your tongue on that, see how hot it is. Just looking at pictures of the old hot rods, the headlights always appeared to be dropped down, which I thought gave it a really aggressive look. And then using the stock stuff and repurposing it, that's cool. Blacksmith 101, baby.
I'm learning.
I wish we had the same color lens. We're gonna have to work on that.
Let's get that full visual.
Yeah, man. How's it looking?
It looks good to me.
There's something about it when you drop the headlights
Yeah.
like that. It just looks like super cool.
That's traditional hot rod in 101 right there. Like, you can't get any more traditional than that. That's working with what you got and making it look good.
Yeah, as much as I love that antique two-tone paint job, I think getting this to one tone, let's just see how it feels.
Little primer here, little primer there. We'll be soapbox racing in no time.
For sure. Classy, baby. Well, all right, Alan had to say farewell. He's got a real job to take care of, but we got this thing in primer. It's looking good. Body panels were very straight. Probably the biggest bodywork project on this was getting these two pans to look like one piece because they had a seam in here somewhere. This is starting to get aggressive. Getting this car into primer really helps move it into the hot rod realm. It doesn't look like Grandpa's parade car anymore. I was kind of ruminating on gauges in it, and I want to kind of upgrade the interior, make it look a little bit, different than the other guy's car. And I've done all kinds of weird dashboard arrangements, but this is a pretty lean hot rod. Back in the day, I would have been thumbing through the Speedway catalog, and we'd like, that's the part right there. So I ordered one. So this is a 32 style dash that literally just bolts right into the Model A. I got some gauges. They're the old style Stuart Warner. This one goes up to 160. That's pretty optimistic in my book, but hey, it leaves room at the back end for further progression. The other arrangement here, the dashboard is just a little chrome thing attached to the gas tank. What this would do would raise the electric stuff off the tank and set it up here. It's got me thinking like, well, what would a dashboard have, right? Would it have a glove box? I mean, if you could just choose anything for your dashboard, would it have an opening panel that the Model A simply does not offer? This is just me thinking out loud. Obviously, front row and center, no doubt, you're gonna have the big gauge. You're gonna have accessories. And I have a part of another car, and I'm thinking glove box, right? So this is one of the last pieces of that Nash Metropolitan, the little car. It's got a glove box door that I just couldn't resist. Does that not look like a pretty close fit? I got two words, I'm gonna make it one. Nash Dash. The whole thing about this Nash Metropolitan was just, it wasn't like the candidate for customization as it was, but the parts are so quirky, I've spread them out over a number of projects. This is the moment this entire project has been leading up to. Will the glove box fit? This is the mini glove box technique. I only pull it out once every decade or so, but when I do, it's a ride. It's all fun when you get started in a relationship and then you realize there's work to be done. the romance wears off, you realize the hinge isn't actually gonna work. Tiny glove box. Already, this is pretty satisfying, you know, it's gonna work. It's a mashup of two very different cars in a very in-the-box parameter. Nice tight fit. That way it doesn't go shaking around. Let's do that 4 times more. Smoking. So even though this layout of the gauges looks good in my opinion, one thing I wasn't considering is that that stock piece of the gas tank is in the way. And when that comes in, look, it's right there. That gauge is not gonna fit. And then these over here are still really tight against the gas tank. The cowl, this is the gas tank. You put the gas in here. This fuel gauge, it's like a sight glass almost. You're looking into the fluid level. I'm thinking maybe just cut out this entire section. Just get an aftermarket tank, set it in the back where it's a little more protected. And I mean, imagine this in a front-end collision. Being that it is partial structure of the car, instead of removing the gas tank, I'm just going to cut out a portion. And this car hasn't had fuel in it since we put it in the garage. This thing is 100% dried out, so I'm confident cutting it won't be a problem. Do not cut your gas tank if there's fuel in or around it. That there is the inside of a gas tank. Yeah, now you got all this room for the gauges. This goes right back in place. I'm sure you've asked yourself a million times, why is it called a glove box? Because you put your gloves right there. Look at that. Once a new tank arrives, I'll wire it up, plumb it, and this puppy will be ready to hit the gas station. It's all part of the master plan. Looking at the dashboard, I gotta say, looks classy, but definitely a little different. I'd say period correct. Next, a couple more aesthetic details, and we're just about ready for cruise night. Back in the day, you take your tiny little gloves and put them in a tiny little glove box. Another fun fact from Honest Ian's Glove Box Historical Society. I'm gonna need a bigger glove box. One of the last necessary and cosmetic things is, of course, taillights and the license plate. Fenders had the license plate bracket with taillight on one side and a taillight on the other. That's all gone now. With the traditional hot rods, typically you see it right here in the rear pan. And the name of the game with any hot rod is stripped down and lean, you know, less is more type of thing. The way Alan and I treated the front headlights was all business, very simple. Officer probably won't give you a ticket. Same thing with the taillights. You want to have your race car street legal. I'm going to center the license plate first and see what dimension works best for the placement of the taillights. There's a couple different license plates that could go on this. This is from '63. The older ones are a little bigger, but I'm just basically coming up with a layout. If I do use a wider license plate, like the older style, I'm just going to set these a little bit wide. The wider plate won't make it look kind of bunched towards the center. I think that's the number right there. In case you haven't noticed, it's a little warm out. I learned this trick on that movie, Predator. He used the Bic shaver to do exactly like this. Whew, it's hot. The last thing is the little mounting for the license plate. Naturally, we'll be using locking hardware in the end. That's a good placeholder. What's not to like about that? That's tasty, classic design. This is exactly the look. You look at any picture in the little magazines for back in the day, this could be one of those cars. All that work has led up to pretty much the blank slate scenario. It's obviously transformed from that parade car. The chop gives it some attitude, but the wheels and tires are what's gonna sell the concept. Part of the stance, the attitude of these cars is like having a little rake in the front. Without modifying the suspension, you would do a rubber rake. You'd have big tires in the back and smaller in the front. So I'm just trying to figure out like what's actually gonna work on the car. Not only looking at the rim width, backspace, dimensions, I'm looking at the tires, the style, from bias ply to the pie crust, I mean to white wall or not to white wall. There's a lot of options. So we got all these fine examples. Let's take off that back tire and see what's going on. So that's what I was describing. That's quite the large circle. Just from mocking up, I know that these don't fit the bolt pattern. This is a GM rim. It's a good look. The tread is saying more 1960s, 70s, but it's a 15-inch rim with a wide white wall. It's quite the attitude adjustment. Looks better already. Front tires are definitely too fat, really wide. The backs, they're looking on point though. This one with the cutout center, I wonder if that'll get on the bolt pattern like it's supposed to. That just makes it. Yeah, something about the black rims with black tires, pretty aggressive. And rumor has it that the Ford truck rims from the mid-late 60s fit this. Look at that. That is evolution right there. That's a pretty fat tire to be period correct, but tell me it doesn't look good. Just a quick floor jack session and a bunch of wheels, you could see so many different styles represented, and they've pretty much all been used on a Model A. Those rims in the front are pretty much ideal. For a front rim, you could just get a little thinner tire. Maybe I'm on the hunt for a pair of 16s, because those look darn perfect. Yeah, you can see the contrast pretty clearly now. It's like two different worlds. I got a little thinking, a little parts gathering to do, but that's only half the story. The other half of the story is about the paint. Just like with all the theorizing of the chop, etc. on this project, the paint choice is going to say everything as well. I mean, every part of the project makes a statement. If you paint that car black, people are going to respond one way. Paint it pink, they're going to respond a whole different way. The overall end game in the paint is just to make it look like it belongs, right? Kind of like the rest of the car, we won't know the story until it's ready for its maiden voyage. You give me some toner and a gallon of white vintage flats, and the party's just getting started. Hey. Got that Model A tidied up and ready for the shakedown run. Now the car has got an attitude. I mean, it's the same old thing inside, but now you're ready to race. You have to be hunched down because it's that low. There's a lot to be said for starting with a decent vehicle. I mean, this thing, we only did sheet metal work to. Mechanically, it's bone stock. It's still turnkey, runs perfect. The entire inspiration for this was the traditional hot rod from the 40s. So back in the day, there was no aftermarket stuff. And of course, first order of business was always strip off the extra weight. The headlights set just right there. The chop is just very aggressive. For a basically stock car, it's got a ton of attitude. Had the glass cut and glued in properly. The windows roll up and down. Front window opens as it should. I'm really satisfied with the size of the back window. I feel like that perimeter line of the windows coming through and into that back, if it was any smaller, it would start to look cramped. I think it really gives a balanced look. That's my job. People come to me and say, hey, what would you do to make this car unique? How about a mini glove box? I got one trick. It works perfect. You can access all the areas in the tank that we cut out. This is a really nice change of pace. For what Alan and I started with was a really, really correct, nice car. So to do this, I think, in my opinion, it only enhanced it. I love the fact that we kept the rumble seat. It's such a small car inside. You're gonna wanna take a couple friends to get a burger. Hey, hop in the back, grab on those handles and let's go. A lot of times at this point of the project, I'm standing in front of something that looks like it came off of another planet, right? This thing is classic, iconic Americana. And I think I fit right in. Change of pace. It's just so interesting to think about when I started my career, I was building cars to kind of thumb my nose at the people with these cars, right? And now here I am, 20 years later, gray-haired and ailing, wishing for one of those cars. I gotta say, another project in the books, another satisfied customer. Well, at least I'm satisfied. That's enough. There's just something to be said for the real deal, and I didn't know until I actually drove a 1931 hot rod. Nothing like it. I'm going for another ride.